Hello and welcome back to Great British Biking Adventures. As you probably already know, we're making our way around the British coastline on our motorcycle. If you like what we're doing and want to keep up with future videos, please like and subscribe. We really like to see and respond to your comments, so don't be shy, but do be polite. So we're just leaving Norman's Bay Caravan and Camping Club site, and it's about 5 to 8 in the morning. In the last episode we got to Norman's Bay near Pevensey, where William the Conqueror invaded in 1066, which is the last time Britain was successfully invaded. But more about that later on. I believe that's a converted Martello tower. You might be wondering just how many miles we've covered so far, but rather than tell you, why don't you have a guess in the comments? Here's a clue. We started in Weston-super-Mare, and it's probably a lot longer than you think. It's certainly much further than had we travelled from Land's End to John O'Groats. Go on, give it a guess, and whoever gets closest will get a mention in a future episode. Enjoy the ride and stick around until the end of the video to see if you are as fascinated as we were when we discovered what has been described as Britain's only desert.
The Battle of Hastings lasted just one day, but forever changed England. 6 miles inland from here, on October the 14th, 1066, King Harold II of England was defeated by the invading Norman forces of William the Conqueror. By the end of the bloody all-day battle, Harold was dead and his forces were destroyed. Harold was the last Anglo-Saxon king of England, and the battle changed the course of history and established the French-speaking Normans as the new rulers of England. William was of Viking origin, but raised in Normandy, France. Normans descended from Scandinavian invaders. In 1051, William is believed to have visited England and met with his cousin, Edward the Confessor, the childless English king. According to Norman historians, Edward promised to make William his heir. On his deathbed, however, Edward granted the kingdom to Harold Godwinson. In January 1066, King Edward died, and Harold Godwinson was proclaimed King Harold II. William immediately disputed his claim. On September the 28th, 1066, William landed in England at Pevensey on Britain's southeast coast, with thousands of foot soldiers, horses and cavalrymen. Seizing Pevensey, he then marched to Hastings, where he paused to organise his forces. Harold, fresh from a victory over William's Norse cousins at York, was forced to march his weary men to Hastings to challenge the Normans. On October the 13th, Harold arrived near Hastings. The next day, William led his forces out to battle before Harold's troops had a chance to organise. Harold was killed, shot in the eye with an arrow, according to legend, and his English forces were scattered. After his victory at the Battle of Hastings, William marched on London and received the city's submission. On Christmas Day of 1066, he was crowned the first Norman King of England in Westminster Abbey, and the Anglo-Saxon phase of English history came to an end. William I introduced huge changes that centralised power and effectively gave him total control of the people and land. Key to his strategy was the granting of what had been common land to his friends. These regions are what we now know as our English counties. Also, the compilation of the Domesday Book, a great census of the lands and people from which he was able to monitor and tax the population. The Middle Ages equivalent to track and trace.
So this is Dungeness. I must say it's absolutely fascinating. Wow, look at that little black place there. Yeah, no, I wouldn't. Yeah. Right on the doorstep of the power station. Nuclear at that. But there's a certain charm, for sure. So they're just perched on this gravelly land. It's not really soil or anything. They don't have any proper gardens, probably because nothing will grow. It's so windy as well. The exposure, the coast is out there and we can see boats just resting on the beach. It's absolutely fascinating. It's almost like crofter style, except they're not farming, of course. A couple of lighthouses out here. Look at the clouds hanging over the power station.
Wow, I love this place. It's not like anywhere else I have been. It's been described as Britain's only desert. That would be a cool description, but sadly it is a myth, as this area does not qualify for it given the amount of precipitation it gets. However, the peaceful feeling, the wild, windswept, rustic landscape created by the shingle shoreline in the form of a cuspate foreland sheltering low-lying lands results in this place being unique and awesome. Obviously the dominating feature is the pair of non-operational nuclear power stations, but they just seem to add to the otherworld feeling.
No cafe, no corner shop.
The area has been awarded many conservation and special scientific awards. It is home to a third of Britain's plant species, many rare like the great fen sedge, lichens and invertebrates, and is a magnet for many birds, including lots of varieties of birds of prey, ducks and geese, gulls, waders, and many smaller birds, and birds overwintering or just taking a break during their migration. Beautifully littered over Europe's largest shingle beach, amongst the sea kale, sea holly, orchids, poppies and broom, to name a few, are the old timber-framed fishermen's cottages and shacks, which arrived during the 1920s as disused railway stock, purchased by employees to turn into holiday dwellings. They are now mostly extended and modernised and only identifiable by the curved roofs. The world's smallest gauge passenger railway operates here at Dungeness, having a gauge of only 15 inches. I could have spent ages here, exploring the lighthouses, taking a closer look at the plants and watching the birds, and taking a stroll to the beach on one of the many boardwalks which pass the fishing boats. But Jared had an eye on the time and the overall aim of the day, so we lingered for a coffee and a quick photo shoot, and rode off slowly, taking one last look at this intriguing place.
Okay. Yeah, we're good. Wow, could do some good steals here as well.
So we got an early start this morning, and it's just gone 9 o'clock. We've already done about an hour and a half, and we're in Dungeness, which is a fascinating place. It has got a nuclear power station, and it's, well, you'll see from some of the other shots and pictures that we've taken, it's quite something. It's a bit like some of these places you see out in Patagonia. It feels like, not that I've been to Patagonia, but it feels like that. It's windswept, barren, wooden shacks. Fascinating. And at the end, we got the end of the line restaurant, and there's a railway line, a little narrow gauge railway line. I'm guessing that's a tourist line.